Now it's Sparage taking the shot, scores! What a move! What a goal! How about that? Channels his way to the net, scores! Oh my goodness!
This is NOJHL Game Day. Welcome back into our league studio, everybody. I'm Alex Bachabansky. It's great to see you again. I've got a ton to cover, and I've only got a few minutes to do it. Lots to get caught up on, so let's go.
Asinaway with Lucas Signoretti. Asinaway waiting backdoor. Lucas Signoretti scores again.
Lucas Signoretti has racked up yet another dominant NOJHL season. Once again, he's put up over 100 points. For the second straight year, he will be the league's scoring champion, and he's an absolute lock to win his second straight Most Valuable Player award. But hold on a moment. Are we sure about that? Not to take anything away from his season, Lucas has been phenomenal. But here's another suggestion. How about Blind River's Owen King? Hear me out. Sure, King is second in league scoring, far behind Lucas. But let's dig a little deeper. Signoretti is on an absolutely stacked Sudbury Cubs team that has 6 players with over 40 points. Blind River, on the other hand, has King with 75 points, 38 ahead of second place Wyatt Gibson. Many times this year, it's been King carrying his team on his back.
Quick shot off and he scores! Owen King!
He just became the first Beaver to record 50 goals in a campaign, and he finished the regular season with a league best 7 hat tricks. You could make the argument that if you took Lucas Signoretti off the Cubs, they'd still be the first place team in the league. But take Owen King off Blind River, it's doubtful they'd be the third place team they are now. I suppose it depends on your definition of MVP. NOJHL fans, what do you think? Should King be in the conversation for the award? There's one head coach who thinks he shouldn't just be in the conversation, he should be the winner.
In our group, our coaches chat, Jamie put their stats into our chat, just a picture of it. My first comment was, this kid better win MVP. Blind River doesn't finish anywhere near third if they don't have Owen King. I think they're closer to where we are in terms of points in their record, right? If he doesn't score 50 goals. I think, what he's meant to his team, and I think that's the essence of the award, has equaled an MVP type season. Again, I won't take anything from anybody else, but that's my opinion. Looking at it, he has been the MVP of our league this year.
The goal scorer, Owen King!
2 incredible players with 2 amazing seasons. Who would be your choice for NOJHL MVP fans? Kinger or Singer? You can't go wrong with either one, that's for sure. Lucas and his Cubs were taking on Powassan last night. This turned out to be a heck of a game.
Lucas Antonioni on the penalty kill. Tried to windmill move around him, but was unsuccessful. Humongous hit by Lucas Antonioni. Oh my! Line Chitteroni quickly back to Walker. Walker to the side for Newton, around, wraparound chance, he scores! Nolan Newton on the wraparound, catches Seibel sleeping, and the Cubs have opened the scoring with 2:01 to go in the first period. It's a power play marker. Off with the stick of Russo and just over the net. Voodoos stay on the attack at the side. Russo in front, they score! Caden Cowell, his 22nd goal of the season, comes on the power play, and the Voodoos tie it at 1 with 1:03 to go in the second period. Near for Chitteroni, walks sharp angle on a tight rope now. We'll leave it for Newton, who walks back to the top of the circle. Newton across for Chitteroni, he scores! Nolan Newton. With 2 points on the game, looking for a start, splits to the fence again. Oh, glove save and a beauty by Austin Seibel. How about that? 8 minutes to go in the third period. Sudbury up by 1 here in the third period on Mason Chitteroni's power play marker. Pass it from Rubik, scores! Ruby! Ryan Rubik
Powassan stayed close to Sudbury the whole way, but ultimately came up just short, falling 3-2. Okay, on tap tonight, big games with playoff ramifications. Let's start with Iroquois Falls and Powassan. The Storm are 2 points up on Espanola with 2 games left for 8th spot. They cannot afford to give up points in this contest, while the Paper Kings will have to take down the Eagles to keep their postseason hopes alive. And this year, they've had no luck against them, as the Eagles have won all 3 contests. And that game means something to the Sioux, just as this game means something for Timmins, as they are battling each other for home ice advantage in the first round of their playoff series. Both have the same amount of points at the moment. And French River will be in Kirkland Lake to face off with the Miners. The Rapids are 3-1 against them this season, but KL has been monumentally better in the second half of the season this year. NOJHL standings, look at that 8-9 in the standings there. You got Iroquois Falls up by 2 against Espanola, both squads with 2 games left, and the 4-5 spot Timmins and the Sioux tied with 67 points, battling for home ice advantage in the first round. Primetime player from last night, Austin Seibel from Powassan. Yeah, the Voodoos came up just short, but Austin was unbelievable, including that great save right there, stopping 43 of 46 shots against the Cubs. And your play of the day brought to you by BrokerLink, auto, home, and business insurance. BrokerLink, life is confusing. Your insurance shouldn't be. We're giving it to Lucas Antonioni for this absolutely massive hit.
It's Caden Cowell. Here goes Lucas Antonioni on the penalty kill. Tried to windmill move around him, but was unsuccessful. Humongous hit by Lucas Antonioni. Oh my! You can feel that one from the west end. What a hit!
Yeah, I just remember that to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the NOJHL all throughout the season, be sure to check out the league's official social media outlets. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
The Goalie Resiliency Podcast, hosted by Chris Dawson and Dr. Rob Graham. With player interviews new and old, goalie insights, and everything you need to know about being a netminder, this is the podcast to check out. You can subscribe at youtube.com/goalieresiliency or instagram.com/goalie_resiliency.
And we welcome you inside the Powassan Sportsplex for the second last regular season game here for the Powassan Voodoos at home, and the second last regular season game as well for the Iroquois Falls Storm. This could be a titanic match here between these two teams, especially for the Iroquois Falls Storm, who have everything on the line still. The Voodoos have locked up their playoff spot, and you know what? There's only 3 things in life that are certain. That's death, taxes, and playing Hearst in the first round, Ben, and that's exactly who the Voodoos will be playing. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Sargent. But the Storm currently hold 2 points on Espanola, who's also playing tonight against the Sioux Eagles, as Alex Pastravansky said. The Storm, if they get a point and the Paper Kings don't get a point at all tonight, will lock up a playoff spot. But if Iroquois Falls Storm loses and Espanola loses, they're still alive. But if Espanola wins, that makes things very interesting, especially because Iroquois Falls tomorrow night plays French River, And on Sunday, the Espanola Paper Kings are, wait for it, right here at the Powassan Sportsplex.
Yeah, the Storm definitely have their destiny in their own hands here this evening, and it's interesting for the Voodoos because they're in a spot where it doesn't really matter what happens in these next two games in terms of standings, as you said. They've locked up yet another playoff appearance against the Hearst Lumberjacks, and you would have thought with the two divisions coming together this year that, number one, we didn't know if the Voodoos were going to make the playoffs. That was a big question mark with how dangerous that Western Conference is. But the second point was you would have assumed we would have seen some fresh matchups, but probably not. And let's be honest, it'll probably end up being like Timmins or Sudbury or somebody else if the Voodoos go past Hearst in that first round.
Yeah,
it'll just be that way. Even if it's not like that on paper, the Noge will find a way to make that happen, it seems.
I believe it's been 4 straight first-round appearances for the Voodoos against the Hearst Lumberjacks. They've won the last 2, or they've won the last 3, I should say. Right now, if the season was to end today, it'd be the Cubs against the Storm in the first round, Hearst versus Powassan, Blind River versus the Sioux Thunderbirds, and the Timmins Rock versus the Sioux Eagles, which that's a bit of a drive between those two places in the first round. But keeping the eyes on this one, we talk about the destiny is in the hands of the Iroquois Falls Storm. The Voodoos, who were 4-0 versus the Storm last season, are currently 0-3 this year against the Storm. So the Storm have Powassan's number, Ben.
Yeah, and that's not something you really expect. French River, another team that has surprisingly done well against the Voodoos. And coming into the season, there were a lot of question marks that came in when we were talking about this in September and October and those early months, which was goaltending. Losing guys like a Daniel DiRoccolo, having some young guys like Seibel at the time, Miles Gordon, and of course Wilcox in net. We had no idea. We thought that would be not as strong as it has been. It's been a huge highlight for the Voodoos this season, which was not probably wasn't on your bingo card at the start of the year. And then also was offense was another big one. Of course, the Voodoos lost not just offense, defense, goaltending all that time. And I think a lot of these guys have stepped up. You see Justin Russo making a huge step up, 42 points so far this season, almost a point per game player. Caden Cowell coming in, getting 41 points on 36 games. So there have been some people who have stepped up big for the Voodoos, but defense and goaltending has been their bread and butter. They've won a lot of tight games. They've won a lot of low-scoring games, and it's been good for that. On the other side, of course, you look at Iroquois Falls. They're a team that puts up points as well. You look at 16-year-old Jordan Mayo, 45 points this season, which is incredible. 22 goals, 23 assists in 48 games. For a 16-year-old to come in, we see the 16-year-olds play in the Great North U18 League with the Trappers, and they struggle in that league, which is why the U16 Trappers team tends to be the weaker of the two between them and the U18 team. For somebody to come into this into this league and do what he's done is very impressive.
Yeah, he's been very fun to watch, especially from afar in Iroquois Falls this year. Speaking of some history in the NOJHL, the Voodoos played last night in a very tight game against the Greater Sudbury Cubs. But what was interesting about that one is the Voodoos shut down Lucas Signoretti, and they prevented him from hitting the 300-point plateau for his NOJHL career, which is pretty impressive still. But now you know he's going to always look back at his NOJHL career and say, 299, what could have been.
What could have been, yeah. And again, he's at the Cubs in general are obviously the favorites to win for a second year in a row, and we've seen how strong their team is, the talent that they've been able to bring in, all the OHL players that they have on their team. There's a lot of things going right for the Cubs, but the fun thing about the playoffs is it doesn't matter what the regular season does, which is kind of one of the downsides to the playoffs, is that it kind of almost invalidates the regular season in a way. So the playoffs are going to be super fun and interesting to see if the Cubs are going to be able to lock it up.
Well, as Derek Jeter once said in Major League Baseball, we play 162 games of practice before we get to the real game. So that's 52 games of practice here that we're almost up against. But we'll be right back after the national anthems here with your starting lineups.
Through the perilous flight, over ramparts Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, et il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by The Clubhouse by Gateway Golf. Located on Oak Street East in North Bay, Ontario, with over 200 plus real-time courses, simulator arcade games, and delicious eats, The Clubhouse is North Bay's newest social hangout.
Looking at the Iroquois Falls Storm in net, they have Justin Sullivan, who's 6-12 on the year, with a .374 goals against average and a .909 save percentage, along with Isaiah Felix and Paradis Brousseau Cho. And here's Ben, who will tell you who we got for the Powassan Voodoos out there in their white jerseys.
So Caden Cowell starts on the wing alongside Caden Dubroy, Justin Russo centering that line, Adam McKillop, Mason Rotundo on the back end, and Tyson Wilcox gets the start after Austin Seibel with a great night against Sudbury.
Tyson Wilcox has been equally fantastic this year. In 20 games, he's 10-9 with a .325 goals against average and a .918 save percentage. Quickly off the hop, though, we have an icing call 9 seconds into the game, so the Voodoos will get an offensive zone draw. Iroquois Falls comes in with the road black jerseys. They're going left to right. The Voodoos in their home white jerseys up until the playoffs, at least, are going right to left. They'll change jerseys around come playoffs again after draw. It's Russo back to Cowell. Another chance, a shot towards Iroquois Falls net, and it's into the slot, knocked away by the Voodoos. Now McKillop in the neutral zone. He's knocked off the puck. Now Paradis chasing after, but Russo got to it. Over for Rotundo. Now McKillop in his own zone. Looks down the ice. He got a piece of Dubroy, so there'll be no icing there. No, they say there's icing on that call. And now Iroquois Falls will get a offensive zone draw.
Can I just say, a lot of the refs with mustaches here. It's a bit of a mustached stripes. I don't know if that's a phrase, but no, I just noticed there's a couple of guys going around.
I mustached you a question.
Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how the Voodoos come out and play for these next two games tonight and Sunday. When you consider not a lot on the line for them, but they do have a chance to see who gets that bottom seed.
They could play spoiler if they really wanted to. As the Voodoos get the puck into the Iroquois Falls zone. The Storm with the puck now, get it down the ice, and that'll be Mayo. Mayo to the races, chasing after it. It's picked up in the Voodoos zone, and that's a big hit there thrown by Daniel Viscu. Now Jarvis sends the puck back in. Mayo chasing after it. He's knocked away from the puck by Jackson Smith, the captain of the Voodoos. And now the puck nearly knocked out front, but it's knocked away anyways and out of harm's way by Mayo. Now Mayo in the corner. Out front, they take a chance, and that one's blocked before he can get through. That was a good one-time attempt there by Jarvis in the high slot. Now the puck back into Voodoos territory. Kratz gets to it. Sends it around for Smith. Smith in his own zone, back for Kratz. Kratz behind his net. Minute and a half gone in this opening frame. Now Jackson Smith with the puck. He knocks it down through the neutral zone and into Iroquois Falls territory. There's a delayed penalty coming against Powassan, and they'll ice the puck, so that'll result in not a usual icing call that you've seen. It'll be a power play for the Voodoos, or the power play for the Storm, and the puck should still start in the Voodoo zone.
Yeah, and a bench monitor, it looks like, for too many men, I believe was the signal there. So we'll see who ends up serving it. Not a good start for Powassan with what they wanted. It's going to be very interesting, actually, as it looks like it'll be Owen Call going to the box to serve that bench minor. It'll be very interesting to see how the Voodoos and Peter Goulet decide to deal with these next couple games. They have a chance to keep it status quo. Do they want to maybe do some do some experimenting with lines going into the playoffs. It looks like tonight's pretty much status quo for the most part, but we'll have to see if there's any tricks up the sleeves of Peter.
So the play did start at the Iroquois Falls blue line, and the Voodoos quickly dumped the puck down. Peter Goulet and Vitaly Yachmanev were on this week's episode of the Frontline Podcast, and I did ask Peter and Vitaly what they were looking for going into these final 3 games against Sudbury, Iroquois Falls, and Espanola, and he basically said, as the puck is up and over into the meshing, and Callaway just reaches up and grabs it with his glove. But Peter basically said he wants to see playoff hockey out of his Voodoos right now.
Yeah, and the big question mark I have is going to be who's going to get the start in net. Well, of course, Peter usually likes to go more towards veteran guys who has experiences. We saw that a couple years ago with Duraculo being on the bench in favor of some more experience.
Yeah, Cannon Flageau.
Yeah, and it'll be very interesting with 2 young guys in between the pipes who he goes for. Again, they've pretty much had equal playing time this year.
Seibel does have the edge with 39 games played to 20, but that's really evened out since Christmas between the two of them. Now Cowell with the puck. He picked it up on the penalty kill. Almost a full minute gone on the penalty kill now as he gets it out and dumps it down the ice. The Storm without a real chance or any pressure so far on this power play. They have the puck in their own zone.
They were on a power play?
They are indeed. At least that's what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, the Voodoos have done a great job killing this off. Really no zone presence here for Iroquois Falls. Again, they've got a lot. They should be playing with a lot of feeling and a lot of urgency here in this game.
Iroquois Falls, they do play tomorrow against French River. Well, Espanola will have the night off as the puck is bounced in on Sullivan. But then Espanola will hold the extra game in hand on Sunday. So if Iroquois Falls can't get the job done, Espanola will be in a must-win game pretty much on Sunday. Cho with a chance. That's the first save of the game here for Wilcox. And 10 seconds still on the man advantage. Puck back to the blue line. Namath with a chance. He threw it on net. That one hit a body and just trickled wide. Now the puck back to Cho at the point. Cho takes a shot. That's off Caleb Dawson's stick and out of play. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey when play resumes.
Well, they finally get a good opportunity on the power play, but just as soon as they get some momentum in there, they're kind of pinning the Voodoos in their own zone. They go off for a change, and they kill basically all of their momentum to the point where that shot from the point was almost more of a, I've got 4 Voodoos coming after me, I got to get rid of the puck, rather than being in control, being in possession. Again, if you're Iroquois Falls, you just want to try and get as much going as you can as early in the game.
Off the face-off, the Storm tried to surprise Wilcox with a quick shot, but he stood his ground, made the save. Almost 4 minutes gone here in this opening frame. Off the draw, the Voodoos win it. Viscu tried to play it around behind his net. Now he plays it back to the blue line. It's kept in by the Storm. Now it's to the near side to Callaway with it. Sends the puck in. Or it's kept in, rather, by Iroquois Falls. Now St. Pierre towards the front of the net. That one's knocked aside by Wilcox. Another chance. Floats over Wilcox's net. Now the puck behind the net. Viscu falling. Made the pass. Tried to get to Rive. Now it's kept in once again by Iroquois Falls. Voodoos having all sorts of trouble trying to get out of their zone here. But they finally will on this chance with Callaway carrying the puck up. Callaway walking in. Threw it to the front of the net. It didn't quite get there, nor did it find a Voodoo. Now going the other way is Jamieson. Jamieson knocked off the puck. And what a hit there by Adam McKillop. And now the puck back down the other way. Sent back into Callaway with the puck. Over for McKillop on the near side. McKillop to Callaway. Now it's knocked back down the ice. And Brousseau will pick it up for the Storm. Jamieson with the puck. Flips it back to Felix. Felix dumping it in. Now Wilcox. Try to get a hold of it. Couldn't. Now Wilcox is knocked against the board on the near side. Puck comes out front. It's knocked away though. Now the Voodoos trying to get it out of their zone once again. Brousseau has it in the neutral zone. Knocks it back in. Wilcox out to play it. Leaves it for Rotundo. Rotundo with the puck behind his net. He's pressured. Plays it over for McKillop. McKillop gains the red line. Dumps it back in. Now McGunthin gets to it. McGunthin rims it around. Bradley chasing after it. But it's back to Kratz as now the Voodoos will have an extra attacker as there's a delayed penalty against the Storm. Puck to the near side. McGunthin throws it right back across to Kratz. Kratz with a shot. And that one hits with body and goes wide. Now McGunthin on the near side for Smith. Back out front for Kratz. Kratz over to the far side. Good chance there. Another chance. They score! Ryan Saginaw. And the Voodoos are in flight here early as Saginaw gets the puck past Sullivan. What a goal by the Voodoos.
Well, we saw Saginaw. You know, he's had his problems putting the puck in the back of the net after coming and being so used to it before he came to Powassan, and to see him now get his third of the season in his 20th game. It's nice to get, if he can get hot going to the playoffs, that'll be big. But great job by the Voodoos cycling that puck around the zone, finding an open goal. There's been a lot of tipped pucks, a lot of screens in this game, and it's the Voodoos who capitalize first.
Now, you know what I will say about Ryan Saginaw is Russo has the puck in the offensive zone again. In his short time here, I've gotten to know him a little bit. Absolutely one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. We'll try not to hold the fact that he's from Pittsburgh against him.
A lot of Pittsburgh guys. Peter loves his Pittsburgh players.
Pittsburgh and Boston.
Yep.
Eric Whitelaw from Boston as well, so playing at the Chowda Cup. Shot on goal. Wilcox with the glove save, and we'll get a stoppage here.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, they go in early July and play at the Chowder Cup. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding. We'll talk to Chris after the game.
Okay.
But
I believe you, but...
Yeah, the Chowda Cup. That's my terrible Bostonian accent. Happy birthday, Mike Brown. There's another terrible... That's almost...
Happy birthday, Mike.
It's almost Christopher Walken. Wow. Magic. It's terrible. Off the draw, Rive with the puck. But it's knocked back in. Wilcox stops it up. DeCallaway has to be quick on it. Now it's back over for Nolan. Nolan picking it up. Plays it around to the near side. Brousseau gets to it. Dawson battling with him. Now it's back for Peaver. Peaver with a shot. That one's blocked by the Voodoos. Now the puck in tight again. Wilcox made the save, but the puck trickled through. It just missed the side of the net. That could have been a gift for the Storm. As now on the near side again, Jarvis out front, chance, they score! And the Storm tie it up here. It's a 1-1 hockey game on a nice play by Trethewey to get the puck past. That's Landon Trethewey's 17th of the season to tie the game at 1.
Well, nice play there from the Storm. Sloppy from the Voodoos as they are not tracking guys as they come back. Wide open in front. Again, the Storm doing exactly what they need to do. There was even a play before that where you see one of the Iroquois Falls players come behind and grab the puck off the end boards, kind of sneak around the defender of the Voodoos. Great job from Iroquois Falls there to get in a great position and then, of course, put it home and tie things up.
Trethewey has some family in attendance, too. I noticed down the other way wearing some Trethewey jerseys, and there's some signs in attendance now, too. So... always good to see one of your family members score a goal. And that's a big one for the Storm. McKillop flips the puck down. It's off the helmet of the linesman and out. And now Misa trying to track it down. Puck back out to the neutral zone. Hops over McKillop's stick. He plays it back. There's another delayed penalty coming to the Storm. The Voodoos didn't get a chance on the power play last time because they scored on the delayed penalty. Now they will get a chance here. That's going to be Jamison who touches the puck. And we'll get a power play for Powassan.
Yeah, slashing call it looks like. And we'll see who the verdict is. There's a couple of Iroquois Falls players going to the box area. Of course, the box is right beside the benches. Looks like it's going to be Jamison who goes off, number 84, for the Storm. So not with the Storm do a good job of coming back in this game, tying things up at 1, and then they take a bad penalty. And so far, it's been kind of in the first 8 minutes, very up and down early on in this period. Lots of good things for Iroquois Falls and Powassan, but also some stuff that you look back on and probably want to tighten up.
Iroquois Falls again playing for their playoff lives right now. Cowell with the puck at the point. Back for Rive. Rive twisting and turning at the blue line. Switches places now with Boys. Now Rive walks in, takes a sharp angle chance. And that one's off the side of the net. Now it's Boys who keeps it in. And it's kept in again by the Voodoos. Now Dubroy walks back to Cowell. Cowell with the backhand chance. That one's blocked. Dubroy back for Rive. Rive, far side. And that's Russo with the puck, or Boys rather. Now it's Russo. Russo looking back out to the point, was looking for Cowell. And that one's going to hop off a stick and out of play. So we'll get a stoppage here. The Voodoos still have over a minute on the man advantage, however.
Well, Powassan trying to make some nice passing plays in that last play. Rive over to Boys was nice, but maybe trying to get a little too fancy with their passes as they try to stretch out Iroquois Falls a little bit. Of course, with Sullivan in net.
Puck flipped all the way down, killing some time. Of course, the Voodoos, a lot of Voodoos are familiar with the backup tonight, Maverick Fletcher, who played for the Sault Ste. Marie U18 Greyhounds the year that the U18 Trappers won the championship. Is now a shorthanded chance here, but a good defensive effort by DeCalloway knocks that puck away. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say Iroquois Falls has to take advantage of some of these sloppy plays in their own zone from the Voodoos.
They almost did on that. Now it's Viscu down the ice. Viscu trying to get a shot away. He does. Saved by Sullivan. Rebound chance. I'm not sure if it ever made it to the goaltender. DeCalloway. In for Nolan. Nolan had a pinch in Kratz. Kratz doesn't quite get to it. Now the puck's the other way for Iroquois Falls. It's a 2-on-1. Paradis off to the far side. They couldn't convert, though, as that pass was in the skates. Still, Paradis killing off all this time in the Voodoo zone. Now Doak chasing after it. Doak back for Lyons. Lyons, his chance, knocked away. And this will almost certainly kill what's left of the power play for Powassan. It does. We're back to 5-on-5. As the Voodoos never really looking overly dangerous on that power play. Their only real chance coming off the side of the net by Sam Rive. Now Smith in his own zone takes a hit, tries and pins the puck at the boards. Saginaw, the goal scorer for Powassan, battling for it. Another chance, it's out front, and it's knocked away from Wilcox's net. Now McGunthin playing it down the ice. Bradley's going to get to it. Heath Bradley walks in, takes a shot. Sullivan with a save. And that'll bring us to our mid-period break. So we'll be back with more Voodoos hockey on the other side of this.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Ryan Saginaw's third of the season, followed by Landon Trethui's 17th, has us deadlocked at 1 apiece for the Iroquois Falls Storm and the Powassan Voodoos. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Sargent. As mentioned, though, before the break, we were talking about Maverick Fletcher really briefly. The U18 Trappers on the Voodoos that played against Fletcher, Anthony Boyes, Justin Russo, Bradley, Cowell, Dawson, and they upset them for the Great North title in 2023. Of course, of note, Mike McIver was the goaltender of that team, who's now starring for the North Bay Battalion, probably one of the best goalies in the OHL right now. But he would love to spoil the party for the Greater Sudbury Cubs in the opening round if they were to get there. He's been sharp in all the outings against the Voodoos thus far, but he's not playing again tonight, as that is gone to Justin Sullivan, who has a nice .909 save percentage on the season.
Well, that's the tough thing about both Iroquois Falls and Espanola is you're fighting for the 8th place and the right to play the best team in the league.
Espanola had a first-round series last year against Sudbury. Caden Cowell was part of that team, and he told us on the podcast, and if you look at that series, it was a winnable series for Espanola, weirdly enough to say, against a team that ended up winning the NOJHL title. But Caden Cowell basically said, actually it was against Blind River, I believe. He said, if we win that series, I think we beat Sudbury in the next round. So unfortunately, they came up just short. That team, as we're going to get a nice thing here against the Voodoos, no, it's waved off. That team also employed a little-known player named Lucas Signoretti last year.
Who?
Exactly. History. As
so
Dubroy
close.
In the slot. Backhand chance by Caden Dubroy. And that's stopped by Sullivan. Caden Dubroy with 20 goals on the season has been absolutely found money for the Powassan Voodoos this year.
Absolutely. And going back to Signoretti a little bit too, talk about a guy he doesn't look incredibly intimidating. He's got a small stature, but he is quick. He plays a lot of minutes, and he knows how to put the puck in the back of the net. And it's surprising that, he hasn't gotten a good enough crack, I think, at the OHL to be able to prove himself.
Well, and now he won't, as he's 20. But, he played, I would say, 30 minutes a night, almost 40 minutes a night sometimes for Espanola last year. Him and Owen Ferguson, former Powassan Voodoo. Daniel Viscu has the puck roll away from him. Now Misa with it. Misa in deep, plays it back. Viscu gets to it. Played back, but it is out, sorry. As Paradis takes the puck up the ice. Now he's knocked off the puck by Rive. The puck flipped up in the air. And Misa gets to it, throws it right back at the Storm bench. And now Felix on the far side, near the near side for Brusso. Brusso going for a skate, throws it cross ice into Voodoo's territory. Kratz bats it out of the air. Marcus Kratz for Smith, back for Kratz. Kratz up the ice. Nearly played back towards his net though by the Voodoos. Those boys. And now on the far side, in Iroquois Falls territory, that's Doak. Puck comes out. Now St. Pierre walking in. St. Pierre, sharp angle chance. That one's stopped by the shoulder of Tyson Wilcox, and then he gloves the rebound out of the air.
Some really good speed there from St. Pierre as he almost gets around his man, takes a nice little short angle shot there on Wilcox. But again, if you're Iroquois Falls, in this first period, pretty solid performance so far. Yes, there's been some ups and downs, but I would say overall, you got yourself a goal, and you've been putting a couple of good opportunities on net.
Another chance from the point. That's from Doak, is stopped by Wilcox. Now McKillop battling with his man behind the net. It comes out for call. Nolan grabs the puck and goes the other way. Jack Nolan sends it down for Sullivan. Sullivan plays it back up. And now Dawson trying to get a hold of it. But it's back for McKillop. McKillop with a shot. That one's stopped by Sullivan. Nolan might have got a tip on it as well. McKillop with the puck in the neutral zone. Carries the puck back in. Throws it towards the net. That one's blocked by the Storm. And they regain the puck. Now back down the ice. Lyons with it. It's knocked away from him to Callaway trying to get a hold of it. Now Lyons has it again. Trethewey. He's knocked hard by McKillop. And now another chance up front. Wilcox is behind them. They score. I'm not sure if it was tipped in before it got there, as it was rolling anyways, but it looks like it's John Adlis with his 5th of the season.
Yeah, and that's, again, way too much space allowed for a player, but it's another mistake here from the Voodoos defensively that the Iroquois Falls Storm, to their credit, have taken advantage of and have allowed their second goal. You remember that first goal where, again, man wide open, no one around him. This is another one. Way too much space allowed in that high slot area right at the top of the circle. Wilcox does a good job of coming out, trying to break out the angle, but it squeezes past him. And on the doorstep was another Storm player. Here's another mistake.
It's given away. Lyons walking in. Lyons with a chance, and that's a big save by Wilcox. He needed that one, or else that could have hurt a lot for Powassan in this one. Giving up back-to-back goals that quickly, especially on a giveaway like that. Now it's Saginaw. Plays the puck back. McGunthin still battling for it. It's at the near side wall at the blue line. Bradley knocks it back in. McGunthin still battling for it. Now Bradley tries to knock his man off the puck. And it's picked up and down the ice by Peaver. Peaver in the neutral zone. Still battling for it. It's knocked back in. And now Wilcox is going to glove it down. Play it to McKillop. McKillop back for Saginaw. It's behind him though. And it's flipped back around. Now McKillop again with the puck. Looks for the stretch pass for Dubroy. Dubroy is going to get a piece of it and knock it into Storm territory. Felix has it. Leaves it for Mayo. And now going the other way is the Storm. Walking back in. Knocked off the puck. That was Jarvis. Now Jarvis has another crack at it, but he's taken off the puck. Now it's thrown out front. Just missed the net. Back for Jarvis behind the net. Jarvis. Got it to Mayo. He's still kept in. Now it's picked up again by the Voodoos. Russo trying to get a stretch pass down for Dubroy. They're going to say it hit, so no icing. And now Russo with it in his own zone. Russo lost it. Russo upended, as that was quite the collision. And now back down the other way is the Storm. Out front looking for the tip in, and they couldn't quite get a stick on it. Now back down the ice. Cho gets it out. Iroquois Falls back through the neutral zone. Doak dumps it in. Fast pace here in this opening frame for both teams. Iroquois Falls with a 2-1 lead. Russo with the puck in his own zone here in the corner. Plays it for Kratz. Kratz comes out from behind his net, plays it up for Misa. Misa tried to tip it, it hit his body. Now he's knocked down by Sherwin. Misa chasing after it. Cho knocks it back down the ice. Now Boy's chasing after it as it's going to roll into Storm territory. Picked up by Iroquois Falls in their own zone. Sherwin has it on the half wall. Viscu looking for his chances, plays it out front. Now it's back for Rive. Rive at the point, flipping it back in. And on the far side is St. Pierre. Back down, Rive gets a piece of it at his own bench, stops up, and now he's going to go for a skate. Carries it down past his man. Plays it around for Viscu. Viscu on the near side. Plays it back for Misa. Misa back out front for Viscu. Viscu out front, they take a chance there. And what a save there by Sullivan as Anthony Boyes teed that one up.
Well, that's the save of the night right there. What a great job going east and west and getting, I believe it was a glove on it.
Boyes flips it out front again. Viscu with a chance. And what a save there by Jamieson. I think you might have just been one-upped on the save of the night, Ben.
Well, I think he just did it. Yeah, he did it to himself. There was another cross-ice play, and you could see how quickly he closed his legs there as it almost went right 5-hole through Sullivan. Sullivan keeping Iroquois Falls in this game, and you got to, if you're a neutral fan watching this game, you're in for a treat because it's been a very exciting first 17 minutes or so. If you're a fan on either side, there's a lot of hair pulling, though, and probably more if you're a Voodoos fan than Iroquois Falls fan. But either way, it's been a game where positives and negatives on both sides. But yeah, where a lot of mistakes have led to goals, that's a great chance from Sullivan there to show off some skill.
Big saves there, for sure. Now off the draw, the Voodoos win it. It's called, tries to get it back to his blue line, but now it's knocked down the ice and out of the zone. Now Dawson with space. Dawson walks in, takes the shot, and that one's a big save by Sullivan. Some big chances. Caleb Dawson's been getting robbed left, right, and center this season.
Looking for his 10th goal of the year, trying to hit double digits before the end of the year.
Now call behind the net. Nolan out front. Finds Dawson. Dawson looking to get it out front. No one was there. No one could get a stick on it anyways. Now Dawson behind the net. He's buzzing the shift. Out front, call with a chance. And Sullivan with another big save.
And that's the kind of pressure that Powassan needs to keep going throughout this game, especially when they're down a goal.
Voodoos looking dangerous the last shift or two. Bradley into Iroquois Falls Storm territory. Now as the puck's back into the neutral zone for Smith. Smith knocks the puck back down into Storm territory. Play the puck up. McGunthin kept it in. Squeaked it ahead. Now Saginaw with it. Saginaw puts that one wide, however. And Bradley picks up the puck again. Now back to Kratz. Now Smith. Smith throws it on net. He shoots. He scores! Jackson Smith snuck one past Sullivan from the point, and the captain gets his third of the season here to tie the game at 2.
Well, what's the old saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's exactly there with Jackson Smith as he just floats one in from the point. That and sometimes it's those slower shots that kind of flutter through the air that are the harder ones to stop, and obviously Sullivan screened, and that's a big comeback here for the Voodoos to tie things up before the end of the period.
Now the Voodoos back to the races. Here's Dubroy to Russo. Russo floated it on net. Sullivan got a stick on it and knocked it into the corner.
And how big are those saves from Sullivan a couple minutes ago now?
Huge. To Callaway, up for Russo. Russo back for Kratz. I almost thought that one hit the post just because of how it went in and came out. That Smith goal. It was low, so I just thought that maybe it hit the post on the far side. But nope. When you're that good, as Lucas to Callaway sends that one in.
Last minute of play in the first period.
We're into the final minute now. Puck on the far side.
Jackson Smith, his third of the season.
Now that's a Voodoo player upended. That's Russo. And that's Scott, the former Voodoo, who dumps the puck in and is covered up by Wilcox with 44.8 seconds left on the clock.
And we've seen it this year a little bit where the Voodoos are a little slow out of the gate. They take some time to warm up, and this is a good example of another game where a lot of mistakes early on in this period. And then probably I would say about 15 minutes into this opening frame, we've seen that discipline come in. We've seen that the wheels start to spin. And if they can keep this up, it's going to be a long night for the Storm. But the Storm have a lot of positives they can focus on too.
Nemeth with the puck sends it right back in and around. It's picked up on the far side by the Storm. Puck in on Wilcox again. He's going to kick that one to the side. Now McKillop for Rotundo. Rotundo knocked into the boards. Now it's back out front. Another chance kicked away by Wilcox. And another chance is blocked before it got to the goaltender. Under 15 here in this period. Knotted up at 2 after Jackson Smith just tied it. Still battling for it. They're not going to call it yet, as the puck is just stuck down there, waiting for the time to expire, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. As fans were calling for them to blow the whistle and blow the play dead, but they never did. So the period's going to end 2-2. Shots on goal, 12-11 in favor of the Voodoos as well. Ben, before we go to our first intermission, your final thoughts on that opening frame?
Yeah, again, when you look at a lot of positives for both teams, obviously we're going in deadlocked. I think Iroquois Falls did exactly what they needed to do when it came to taking advantage of some of the mistakes that the Voodoos did. The Voodoos did prove, though, that when they don't make mistakes, they're not giving a lot of opportunities for the Storm to come back. But at the end of the day, I think the Voodoos need to shore up some of these bad plays that they've made. If you're Iroquois Falls, you've got to just keep putting pressure on them. It's going to be a very interesting next 40 minutes.
Well, we'll have a little bit of fun here on the intermission for you. We'll have a recent podcast with Austin Seibel and Jackson Smith. And Seibel can tell you all about his Hollywood movie career on this little clip here. But first, a quick message from our sponsors. I'm Courtney, he's Ben. We'll be back with more Voodoos hockey after the first intermission.
Why is Northern Honda servicing more cars of all makes and models? Let's count the ways. 1. Our state-of-the-art facility has award-winning technicians. 2. Northern Honda has the lowest tire price guarantee, no matter what you drive. 3. The lowest synthetic oil change guarantee, and every 5th oil change is free for all makes and models. Plus, new Honda buyers get brake pads for life. See the service difference at Northern Honda, 1250 Seymour beside Home Depot.
The goalie resilience.
The Frontline starts now.
And we welcome you to another episode of the Frontline Podcast, and I'm pleased to be joined by a returner for this year, Captain Jackson Smith on the far end. Jackson, welcome back.
Thank you.
And in between us is Austin Seibel. Sorry, I had to take a little shot while I could because, I hear it often enough. But welcome to the Frontline Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm pretty excited to get this going. So I'm just going to get off to the hop here because I have pretty good intel on this, and I've been waiting for this episode for a while to do this. But I hear you're a movie star.
I was in a Hallmark movie once, yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's called Checking It Twice is what I was told. Okay. Yeah. That's the only homework I've done going into this, just so you know. Can you explain what it's like to be a Hollywood superstar?
I don't know. I feel it's normal, I guess. It was a pretty cool opportunity, that's for sure. But yeah, I didn't really have any words or anything, but I was in a couple scenes as the goalie in that.
So what do they make you do as like a goalie, like in scenes? Like, do they just be like, hey, you got to let this one in or something?
Yeah, well, a lot of the people that are like a part of it, they're not. Like, the actors aren't actually hockey players, so a lot of them don't know how to skate or shoot the puck or anything like that. So no matter how hard I'm trying not to make the save, I'm making the save. So got to the point where they were getting upset with me with doing that. But I don't know, we probably took a couple scenes on this one where it was like a breakaway shot, and it's just like I wasn't trying to make the save, but they can't shoot it, so it just kept hitting me. And so they were getting upset with me, and eventually they scored one. But
I'm gonna have to check this movie out because I just want to see the movie magic where they make them look really good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've always like, because I'm a big fan of like Shoresy, so I've always wondered like, do they just go in there and tell the? I mean, those guys can play hockey though. I guess that's the difference.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, do they just tell the goalies, okay, we need you to like let in like a bad one here or something? So, Jackson, what's it like being captain of a team with a Hollywood superstar on it?
It's amazing. He hasn't let the ego go to his head too much yet. Once he gets some words, maybe he will. But that hasn't happened quite yet, so it's been good.
So is it safe to say if the hockey thing doesn't work out, Hollywood's like calling?
It's definitely an option.
How do you get a role in a movie like that? Like, I'm so out to left field when it comes to like that stuff. I don't know anything.
Yeah, basically they were filming at our like hometown rink, and I trained there in the summer on ice and in the gym, and up top in that rink there's like our private gym that we have for it's mainly like hockey players and sports people, and basically they knew it was a hockey movie, so they just said like, do you have any people that can kind of fill spots? And so she immediately asked me, and first I think I had plans to leave, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it, like whatever, I'm not really bothered by it. But then eventually worked out, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well, like cool experience. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how it is. It wasn't like I applied or anything like that. They kind of just were looking for somebody, and I was just in the right spot for it.
Fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they needed a goalie.
Yep.
Who was apparently going to let him who was tough to work with, apparently.
Yeah.
Switching gears, though, back to actual hockey. Jackson, since you were on last, you've made a commitment on where you're going to be playing next year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm going down to Sudden, New Hampshire. It's about an hour outside of Boston. Really excited to get things going there next season.
So what kind of leads you to decide where you're going to play next year? Like, I mean, obviously there's probably going to be some options, but to narrow it down to where you're going.
I think like their assistant coach Matt Osgood, he contacted me all the way back in October, and they've kind of been the first team that talked to me, and they were pretty like consistent where I'd talk to him once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, but just felt like the best fit and really excited.
For you yourself, I mean, obviously at every level for both of you guys, like there's always going to be eyes watching you as the further you go with your hockey career. But for you, Jacko, with this being kind of like your overage season, did you feel any added pressure on that, being like, this is my last kick at the can at Junior A to make people see me kind of thing?
I think a little bit. Just like you put more pressure on yourself than anything. Like it's no one else, but it's your own mind games where you're thinking, like you're up late at night thinking about, okay, well, I need to do this, this, and this, and you realize quickly that just doesn't work at all. So the best thing is just either get it over with or kind of free it from your mind, just because it's not going to help you thinking about it all that much.
So you kind of answered my next question a little bit, but I'll ask it anyways. When you get to a level like this, especially as the captain of a team, how do you juggle, personal success of trying to further your career with team success?
I think team success drives personal success. Like you look at any team that wins, whether that's major, junior, or junior A, like any level, like the players that win are always going to get more chances, and that's kind of my thought process going into it.
Austin, you yourself, you didn't break camp with the team, obviously, but you still came fairly early in the season. We kind of talked about it before we started recording, but how did your winding road lead you to Powassan?
Just basically started where I was with the Dauphin Kings in Manitoba, and was supposed to be the starter and play there. Just things didn't work out as the hockey world works, and eventually was looking for a team because my 20-year-old came back, and it just kind of shifted me out of play, and that's all right. But was looking at some options. Met an advisor. He said he knew Pete. Pete was a great coach, and he's like, I'm gonna text him, see maybe if he's interested. And just playing through my cards, it just felt like this was the right spot for me to come here and play. And big nice town, North Bay, right by it. And otherwise, yeah, that's kind of how I found it.
You've kind of moved your way further and further from home, though. Have you noticed that as you've gone here? BC to Manitoba, now Ontario. What's it like playing so far away from the family?
You get used to it. Like I before junior, I also played in Saskatchewan for 2 years, so I've kind of lived in the majority of the provinces along the west coast and that, and so I just you kind of get used to not being around family. And I like to say, like, this past Christmas, it was like I have two different lives. Like, I'll go home, have all my friends there, then I'll come back here and it's like a whole different contacts list. Like, I'm just have so many other people to talk to and see, and I don't know. I find it cool. Like, I miss my family, of course, but I also feel like I'm happy to be here. I'm independent and enjoying my time away.
Whenever I get, like, last year with the Americans, they were a bit of a fraternity. It seems like they are a little bit again this year. Are you guys both, being Western boys, kind of part of like a fraternity on the team, or is it you guys kind of against everyone else?
Yeah.
Where's the division line, right? Because you're from Alberta, you're from BC. Where's the division line to be like, no, that's not West enough?
Well,
probably Manitoba.
Yeah.
I would say
Manitoba's West.
Yeah,
anything in the Western League.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anything in the Western.
Ontario's so big, it's
ridiculous.
It takes forever to get across Ontario.
Yeah.
It's basically all the other provinces together.
So when you came here the first time, did you have to drive, or did you at least get to fly?
I drove.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a bit of a trek for you.
Yeah.
But so what is it kind of like, coming all this way, and now you get a guy from Calgary on your roster, kind of thing?
I saw his name when I first searched up the team, so I thought that would be kind of cool, someone I could relate to, and I don't know, yeah, it's good, especially since now that we're living together and that we can relate and get the same flights home, and it just works out perfectly. But
The Frontline, hosted by Courtney Kenny, the official podcast of the Powassan Voodoos.
Check it right now, but as we get a quick whistle here, we'll have to get 6 minutes. They're gone. As we'll try to get things back on the rails here in just a moment. Offense or draw coming just by the blue line here. And it's one back by the Storm. Now back down the ice. Flipping it in is Nolan. Nolan. Flipping it right back in. Atlas going after it. Jarvis tried to come away with it. Now it's picked up by Powassan briefly. Dawson flips it right back to Callaway, gets it to the red line. Now Nolan. Back out. However, the pass couldn't find his target. Now the Voodoos do have it again. And it's back just missing to Callaway. To Callaway. For McKillop. McKillop plays it behind his net. Back for DeCallaway. DeCallaway back for McKillop behind his net. Now McKillop down the ice. That'll go for icing here against the Voodoos. As no, it's waved off. As the puck bounces around and the Storm still have possession. Adleys with the puck. Walking in, takes a shot. Wilcox. A little handcuffed by that one, but he still makes the save.
We've seen a couple of really awkward icing calls where the pucks bounce so violently off that backboard that we're getting into situations where we're not too sure if it gets waved off or not. But either, though, it does look like Powassan has done a good job of settling things down a little bit over the last couple minutes.
Puck in to the blocker side of Wilcox. Russo in for the draw. Against Cho. Now it's one back by the Voodoos. Kratz has it. Kratz tries to flip it out, but it's picked up by Iroquois Falls. Another chance stopped by Wilcox as he's come under fire here in the last few minutes. Russo gets the puck to the blue line, but not much further. Now the Storm trying to get it out. They do. But Cowell picks it up. Cowell sandwiched by a check there. Try to get around his man. Now it's Paradis with the puck. Paradis still battling for it on the far side. It's picked up by Powassan. Now Cowell streaking through the neutral zone, but it's picked up by Dubroy. Dubroy gets around his man, but then the puck sticks to the ice and gets stuck there. Kratz flipping it back in. Still Kratz can't play it because it's offside. So Russo had to skate by it. Now Cho flipping it back down the ice. Down by the Storm bench, Rive picks it up in his own zone. Now Russo knocking to his man. But incidental contact there. Rive chasing after it into the neutrals or into the offensive zone. It's picked up by the Storm. Battling for it though is Misa. But 3 Storm, eventually they come away with the puck. Now back for Paradis. Paradis looking for the stretch pass a little bit. Is picked off by Powassan, but now it's back for the Storm. Felix gets to it. Flips it right back into Voodoos territory. Wilcox out to play it. Leaves it behind his net. Peaver on it. And there it comes out front. Chance saved by Wilcox. The rebound. He has it. As the Storm coming close to establishing a 2-goal lead with that.
That would probably be a pretty, not a good spot for the Voodoos to be in at all. If you look at it again, Iroquois Falls doing all they can to secure the victory here this evening here in Powassan, as they've played they've been taking advantage of some of these sloppy defensive zone mistakes from Powassan that I'm kind of surprised is still happening. I would have thought that was something that would be addressed in the intermission and would have been cleared up, but again, the Voodoos seem about a step behind tonight.
Picked up off the draw. Felix tries to get a shot away. It's picked up by Bradley. Now Bradley flips it around for McKillop. McKillop behind his net. Walks out with it. Looks for the stretch pass from McGunthin. Couldn't quite connect as that one was picked off by the Storm. Now they have it in their own zone. That's Brusso. Brusso with the puck. Comes around. The Storm get to it. McKillop kicks it right back towards the blue line. And then he flips the puck in. Lion stick comes out of his hands. And now the Voodoos play the puck back to the blue line. No one's there, so through he picks it up. Walking back in, Peaver. Puck pinballs around a little bit. And now the Voodoos send it right back down the ice. Atlas with it in his own zone. Up the ice, Trethewey. Gets around McKillop, but now he sends the puck in. Picked up in their own zone, though. That's Kratz. Now for McKillop on the far side. McKillop looking through his options as he lets the Voodoos set up. Mayo is on him. Now it's back down the ice. It's Call. Call into the offensive zone. Call with a shot. And that one's blocked by Atlas. Now back for Smith. Smith back into the corner. Dawson was tied up on the play, so the puck goes through his legs. Over 10 minutes gone, 10:05 to be exact in the second period. It's 3-2 game for the Storm, who again are fighting for their playoff lives. A win here tonight will help them out immensely, but they need Espanola to lose.
And Espanola just scored another goal, so they're now up 3-0. Almost a period done there.
Rive with a chance, takes a shot, but on the delayed penalty, with him touching the puck, that'll draw a whistle. So if Espanola wins, that'll keep them within 2 points with both teams able to play a game still. But if Iroquois Falls wins or even gets a point here tonight, and Espanola doesn't get a point, that should lock up the 8th place for the Storm.
It looks like it might come down to the final day, though, with the way that Espanola... Now, again, this is the NOJHL, so no lead is necessarily safe. And there's still a lot of hockey left to play in that game, about 47 minutes left in that one. So not set in stone, but not looking good for the Storm on that front.
Voodoos trying to kill another penalty here. They got scored on in the last power play. Now walking the line is the Storm. To the near side, shot on net. That goes over Wilcox's net. And the puck rolled around back behind the net for Rive. Rive flips around on the far side. Cho gets to it, back to the blue line. Back over for Cho. Cho walking in, takes a shot. Wilcox. That one just went wide. Still battling for it. The Storm have possession out front, looking for a chance. They throw it out back to the point for Cho. Cho flipping it back in. Now it's back into the slot. Cho. Back to the point again. The Storm looking for their options to Cho. Cho takes a shot. That puck whistles wide. Now back on the near side again. The Storm still with possession. Just under a minute left on the man advantage. Willoughby with the puck. Takes a shot. Wilcox, the rebound, comes out on the near side. And they had a wide open net if they could have got the shot away.
Very lucky. McKillop right there on the doorstep as well.
Another chance blocked by McKillop. Willoughby with the puck again. Willoughby going for a skate. Still has the puck though. Now he flips it back in. Far side. It's off a stick and out of play. So the Voodoos will be able to get a change here with 1:33 gone on the man advantage.
Well, after that own goal, McKillop coming back with a big defensive stop, as you said, wide open cage to the right of Wilcox, and McKillop there tying up the man, not allowing Max to go in. And with 8 minutes left in this period, one more goal from Iroquois Falls, and all of a sudden it'd be an interesting third frame.
Trethewey with the puck at the point. Trethewey gets around Dubroy. Now he goes to the far side. Big save by McKillop. And an even bigger rebound is taken away by the Voodoos. As again, another wide open net. Dubroy gets the puck out. He's knocked down from behind by Mayo. No call coming.
He's trying to plead his case as well to the official.
Adley's walking in. Takes a shot. He throws that one high and over the net. Now it's out for Call. Call couldn't get anything going. Gives it to Dawson. And it's knocked away from him. That puck ricocheted perfectly almost to Owen Call coming out of the box. Trethewey has it. Flips it back around. Now it's to Callaway. Chipping it off the boards. Gets it up for Call. Call looking for his options. Walks in. Takes the shot. That one just missed the net. Now a bouncing puck. It's out front. They couldn't quite get it towards the net though. Callaway missed the first attempt off the boards. Now it's the other way. Mayo walking in. Gets it out front. Big save there by Wilcox. And now the Voodoos on a 2-on-1 again. Call the other way. Takes the shot. That one hit the side of the net. End-to-end action here between the Voodoos and the Iroquois Falls Storm. Get it up for Rive. Rive couldn't quite get it through. Now it's Saginaw with it. Saginaw walking in. Saginaw, sharp angle, chance, he scores! Ryan Saginaw, what a goal! His second of the game and his fourth of the season.
Well, have yourself a night, Ryan Saginaw. As you mentioned, his second of the year. What a shot from a sharp angle. And this period has been all Storm for the most part. We've seen the Voodoos knocking at the door a little bit, but the Storm have had a chance to make this 4-2, 5-2. There have been a couple of great opportunities, but all it takes is one shot to tie things up. And Ryan Saginaw with a great shot. Not a lot of chance for Sullivan to make that save as he goes top shelf over the blocker with very little real estate there of netting. And all of a sudden it's 3-3.
I guess you could say he showed great spirit on that one.
What?
But
I will say I did make a pun earlier and you didn't catch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
I said the Storm on that front, and...
Oh, that's a good one.
I know.
That is actually a good one.
I'm sure the listener out there got it.
Kratz with the puck. Back for Kratz. Still battling for a Cowell knockdown. Now St. Pierre with the puck. Flips it back in. Wilcox will just cover that one up. And again, what a perfectly placed shot by Ryan Saginaw to tie things up. Like you said, not much Sullivan could have done on that one, but we'll have to see how this exciting period ends on the other side of our mid-period break.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Ryan Saginaw getting a goal here moments ago to tie the game at 3 apiece, his second of the game and his fourth of the season, but again, a perfectly placed shot. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Sargent and the Espanola Paper Kings looking to get things going in their own game against the Sioux Eagles right now as they currently trail Iroquois Falls by 2 points for the 8th and final playoff spot, and Iroquois Falls looking for any points that they can get.
Absolutely, and again, we talked about, Espanola up 3-0 after one period. Really, this is going to come down to one of the last games, and of course, with the Paper Kings coming on their way to Powassan to end the season out, it's going to be a very interesting last couple of games. And so far, again, Iroquois Falls comes in this game. They've won the first 3 meetings between these two teams. They look dangerous, and they've taken advantage of some bad mistakes from Powassan this evening.
Nolan off to the races, got it back to Call, and then he's knocked off the puck. Cho going the other way. Cho out to the middle of the ice. It's knocked off their stick, and now Nolan has it. Nolan looking for his options. Lost the puck, though, and Jamieson flips it in. McKillop knocked that one aside. Now Dawson with it. Dawson flips it down the ice, and that's going to hit the meshing and go out of play, so we'll get a stoppage here.
Yeah, and even when you look at the shots on net, 22-14 in favor of the Storm as well. This second period has been very heavily favoring the Storm as they've had so many opportunities. We've seen some great chances in the high slot area, some passes with some wide open men. We've seen a post be hit. We saw a great defensive play by McKillop after the own goal that we saw earlier in the period. But all that doesn't matter unless you score, and Ryan Saginaw with one shot brings the Voodoos right back into this game.
Offside call there. By the way, I'd like to point out that former trainer extraordinaire of the Powassan Voodoos just sent me a message on Facebook. He appreciated the pun.
Oh, nice.
Actually, he gave me an eye-rolling emoji and then the
that's
laughing
appreciation.
emoji. So that's what I'm going for. Hi, JJ. Thanks for listening. He didn't react to your Stormfront one.
Oh, he was reacting to your pun.
Yeah, he didn't react to your Stormfront.
That one must have went right over his head then.
I guess you could say it was quite the breeze. I'm terrible. We're terrible. We should just put the microphones down and just let the ambience
don't clump
take
me
over.
in with you.
Oh.
My pun was sophisticated.
It was. I did like yours. And I don't usually like your puns.
I know, but sometimes you just have to weather them,
Oh, you're really catching lightning in a bottle on that one.
Well, sometimes you just got to check the temperature of the room.
Oh, Boyce with the shot. That's a save there by Sullivan. I can't even call the game right now. Well, you talk about a hot team right now. Stop.
Iroquois Falls, as been a hot team so far as they come into this game, again, like winning 3 out of their last 5. And they've just been really, when we get into the home stretch of this season, they've really taken the opportunity of that 8th spot by the horns here. Of course, they lose to Kirkland Lake, but then wins against Kirkland Lake, Espanola, and Timmins before losing to the Sioux Eagles.
Another chance is just put wide by the Storm. Also, just to let you know, JJ did not hear yours. He tuned in just as he heard mine.
Well, he heard all the other ones, so that's
yes,
fine.
He did. And he promptly turned it off.
I don't blame him.
As the puck again out of play. 4:12 left here. 3-3 hockey game. Of course, JJ part of the championship team that the Voodoos had here in 2017. A team that went through the playoffs, a remarkable 12-0.
Yep. And that's, of course, the Voodoos came kind of close last year. They went up against the juggernaut Greater Sudbury team, unfortunately, but
that was their first time back in the league finals since then. And,
after struggling to try to get over the mountain that is the Timmins Rock.
Yeah, and that's still a weird series where every home game was a win for the visitor.
Yeah, it was very strange.
In that 7-game series against Timmins. So good thing Timmins had home ice disadvantage, I guess, in that one.
Yeah, again, that's like almost like a coin toss moment, right?
Yeah.
But I think the playoffs this year are going to be very interesting with some obviously different matchups with no longer East and West conferences and now everybody in one big pool. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. And, with the way that if Iroquois falls, or even Espanola, either one of them get that 8th place, it'll be very interesting. I don't think it's going to be a sweep for Greater Sudbury. I think there's going to be some competition there. Both teams have looked very good of late.
Off the draw, Nolan had his puck knocked away and off a body. Yeah, you get a ticket to the dance and you find out who your dance partner is. That doesn't mean that, you're one of the best teams in the league for a reason, right? So by making it as a playoff team, as Kratz flips it off the roof, so we'll get a stoppage here. But, what I'm trying to say is by getting to the playoffs, you're already a good team, and now it's the best teams in the league going up against one another, right? So.
And what gets really interesting is if that 8th team takes down the Goliath that is Greater Sudbury, that's going to make for a very interesting next couple rounds of playoffs. Because now all of a sudden you take away the runaway favorite, and it really, if you're Powassan, I think it gives you a really good opportunity to go all the way.
I think if you can liken it to anything, you can look back at the OHL playoffs a couple of years ago where Peterborough took off the top-seeded Ottawa 67s in the second round. Then they took out the second-seeded North Bay Battalion in the Eastern Conference Finals the next round. And they beat the London Knights in the OHL Finals. As a team that just squeaked into the playoffs. There's another chance. They score! St. Pierre regains the lead here for the Storm. As Alexandre St. Pierre gets his 10th of the season. Perhaps none bigger than that one.
Well, that seemed a little innocent, didn't it? The puck kind of scored it out of the zone as we're getting a goalie change now as Wilcox is going to come out for Seibel.
After last night, Seibel's 10-13 with a .322 goals against average and a .917 save percentage.
Yeah, that's one that Wilcox probably wants back, but seemed like an innocent puck that came out to St. Pierre, but of course a big goal. And you feel for him a little bit. 3 out of those 4 goals, I don't think there's much that he can really do any differently, and he came up with a couple of big saves, but sometimes, sometimes when you're the head coach, a lot falls on your shoulders. Sometimes that happens with your goalie too.
Paradis with the puck. Tries to test Seibel here. Doesn't really hit him. Now it's picked up by Russo. Russo down the ice. Knocks his man off the puck. It's picked up by Dubroy, but now he's knocked over. Going the other way is Cho. Cho looking to go near side. Another chance. That one's stopped by Seibel. So Wilcox's night is over. 24 shots against, 20 saves made. Austin Seibel is in. Russo looking up ice to get to Dubroy. Gets it in for Cowell. Cowell battling for it on the near side. And of course, Austin Seibel of Checking It Twice fame, the Hallmark film. Yeah, and that you heard from him in the first intermission.
You got to watch that movie twice.
You do. I want to watch it, I'm not going to lie. Puck still in the Iroquois Falls zone. Now it's Peaver. First Trethewey. Trethewey throws it on net. That one hit a body and just went wide. Seibel played strong last night, even being the primetime player in the game day video. Stopping over 40 shots against the Sudbury Cubs in Sudbury. And a 3-2 loss. Now Trethewey with the puck, throws it on net. Seibel, another save there for the goaltender. He's made 2 already. But just to finish what I was trying to say earlier before we were so rudely interrupted by a goal, the Peterborough Petes basically played under 500 after making all those moves at the trade deadline that year, and they snuck into the playoffs and go on to win the whole thing.
Yep, and that's the beauty of the playoffs, for better or for worse. Again, a lot of people have their opinions on the fairness of that kind of tournament, but people only care about the trophy. That's where you get the rings from.
Yep. Sharp angle chance. Seibel, a couple of saves. Another chance. Big save by Seibel. Oh my goodness, he made a couple there. And Austin Seibel somehow kept the puck out of the net.
Well, he talked about Wilcox not really deserving to give up the goals that he gave up. And this is another opportunity where Iroquois Falls is just, at this point, crashing the net, getting bodies in there, and the pucks are finding them. The Voodoos need to do a much better job in front, but give a big credit there to Austin Seibel, who jumps across his crease to make a great save. But the big question between him and Sullivan, who's going to get the save of the night?
Well, that's for Alex Pashovansky to decide. After I send him some of the notes, as McGunthin has his stick knocked out of his hands. Now Mayo walking back in. Another chance, another big save by Seibel. As the Storm have just poured it on here in the last few minutes with 33.8 seconds left on the clock.
I think you can see the steam coming out of Peter's head as he's probably not too impressed with, again, another sloppy giveaway. And again, all the credit to the Storm here. They're taking advantage. They're pressing. They're forcing some of these mistakes to happen, and they're taking advantage of them. They're sitting, again, they have a lot to play for if they don't want their season to end in a couple nights. So they've taken advantage of it. They have a 4-3 lead here. And outside of that goal from Saginaw, Powassan really hasn't done anything offensively in this period. Still only 14 shots on the night.
Russo battling for it in the near side corner. Now it's around for McKillop on the far side. He knocks it back in. Russo gets to it. Russo sends it out. It gets past McKillop. Now Rotundo in a foot race. Puck comes to the near side. It's kept in by Iroquois Falls. Sending it right back. Now Scott with a chance. Another save made by Seibel. That's already the 30th shot on goal here, and the 6th that Seibel faced since joining the game late. And that's where things will end here at the end of that second period. It's a 4-3 hockey game for the Iroquois Falls Storm. Ben, your final thoughts on that first 40 minutes?
Well, those locker room talks here in the second intermission are going to be complete opposites. Iroquois Falls has played a great game. They've really come out and they said, hey, we want to make the playoffs. The destiny's in our hands. Let's take advantage of it. And they have. They've put 4 past the Voodoos here. They've taken advantage of the mistakes. And again, if you're the Voodoos, way too loosey-goosey with their play here. They've given way too many mistakes. Not a good sign. And if they play like this going to that playoff series, it's going to be a short series against Hearst.
Yeah, hopefully the Voodoos can turn things around here. They still have one more game to do it against Espanola if they can't in this one. But again, Austin Seibel coming in and making some big saves late. We'll have to see if that carries over after we come back after the second intermission.
Canadian Tire North Bay. Whether you're in need of a hockey gear upgrade or some cooking kitchenware to help get you fueled up for the big game. Maybe it's a set of new snow tires or a tune-up to help you get there safely. Stop by the newly renovated Canadian Tire North Bay. Open 7 days a week and located conveniently at 890 McEwen Avenue. They have everything you need for this season.
The Goalie Resiliency Podcast, hosted by Chris Dawson and Dr. Rob Graham. With player interviews new and old, goalie insights, and everything you need to know about being a netminder, this is the podcast to check out. You can subscribe at youtube.com/goalieresiliency or instagram.com/goalie_resiliency.
Why is Northern Honda servicing more cars of all makes and models? Let's count the ways. 1. Our state-of-the-art facility has award-winning technicians. 2. Northern Honda has the lowest tire price guarantee, no matter what you drive. 3. The lowest synthetic oil change guarantee, and every 5th oil change is free for all makes and models. Plus, new Honda buyers get brake pads for life. See the service difference at Northern Honda, 1250 Seymour beside Home Depot.
The Goalie Resiliency Podcast, hosted by Chris Dawson and Dr. Rob Graham. With player interviews new and old, goalie insights, and everything you need to know about being a netminder, this is the podcast to check out. You can subscribe at youtube.com/goalie-resiliency or instagram.com/goalie_resiliency.
And we welcome you back inside the Powassan Sportsplex for the start of period number 3 between the Powassan Voodoos and the Iroquois Falls Storm. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Ben Sargent. It's currently 4-3 for the Storm after 40 minutes of play, and that second period also saw a goaltending change of Tyson Wilcox for Austin Seibel. Seibel came in and was perfect 6 for 6 after Wilcox had allowed 4 on 24 shots. The Voodoos have only mustered 14 shots. And now we'll quickly go around the NOJHL. Blind River and Elliott Lake. Well, that game didn't actually go down today. It's 1-0 Blind River in that one, in a game that was forfeited long ago. French River and Kirkland Lake in a game that doesn't really impact the standings too much. They're all knotted up at 1 apiece with 12 minutes in the second left. It's 2-1, just over 6 minutes in that one between the Hearst Lumberjacks and Timmins in the second period. And Ben, why don't you tell us about the most important game that everyone's keeping their eye on outside of this one?
Well, Espanola decided 3 was not enough, so they scored a 4th. And so it's 4-0 Espanola with 13:19 left in that second period. It's been an all 4 different goal scorers. So it's been a good night for the Paper Kings. If you're Iroquois Falls, you're probably not looking at the scoreboard, but I'm sure it's in the back of your mind. And the nice thing that they're in a position is it doesn't matter what anybody else does if they win. So it's kind of irrelevant. It's a moot point. And so if you're Iroquois Falls, you have 20 minutes left, and you've got to finish the job that you've started. It's going to be an interesting third period. Like, the Voodoos are not playing the way that they should be playing, and they can play, and the level that we're expecting them to see. So I wouldn't be shocked if they come out here and they end up winning this game. But if you're Iroquois Falls, you got to keep doing what you did in that second period. Crash the net, take advantage of the stakes. You see Powassan overloading a lot in their own defensive zone, so you got to try to exploit some of the things that you see on the ice.
In that one is Samuel Gravel, Carter Drigo, Aiden Rufa, and Jason Gallant with the goals in those games. However, again, if Iroquois Falls wins and Espanola wins, both teams will still remain only 2 points ahead, or Iroquois Falls will remain 2 points ahead of them going into their final game tomorrow night against French River. But Espanola does hold the final game of the season on Sunday in Powassan between these two matchups. So if Iroquois Falls can't get it done today, can't get it done tomorrow, that sets up a very interesting game Sunday. If the Storm win tonight and Espanola loses, or the Storm go to overtime and get 1 point and Espanola loses, then Iroquois Falls has punched their ticket to the dance. So
you can see the gears turning.
I know.
All the different possibilities.
There is a lot of possibilities. I'm not the smartest of people when it comes to the numbers, just like you're so great with geography.
But I am great with geography.
Geography professor Ben Sargent over here.
They didn't let me teach because I knew too much.
Ah, that's what it is, eh?
Yeah.
The final game, like we mentioned, will come Tuesday or Sunday against the Espanola Paper Kings at 2 o'clock or 7 o'clock here at the Sportsplex. Matt Sukram will have the call for you in that one with Ben Long, so should be a good one. It's the Bens this weekend here as our color analyst.
Matt hasn't done a game in a while. It'll be fun to get him back on the mic.
Yeah, he did one a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, he's a Florida man right now.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, I walked outside today and it kind of felt like Florida.
Yeah, it was pretty nice as we're back underway here. St. Pierre to the front of the net, and that one never got on Seibel. As now the puck back out. The Storm in their road black and yellow jerseys are going left to right. The Voodoos in their home whites are going right to left in this third period as the Voodoos have possession in their own zone. Smith with the puck, flips across ice, and is picked up by Iroquois Falls once again in their own zone. Twisting and turning, Jamieson with it. Sends it back. Russo up for Jarvis. It's flipped in. Seibel plays it around. Now Cowell. Cowell has the puck. Skates it in front of his net. It's left there as a good stick by Jamieson, poked it free. But now DeCallaway gets to it. DeCallaway's pass up the ice was looking for Boys. And that one was picked off. Now DeCallaway with it again. Gets it up for Russo. Russo flipping it in. Cowell chasing after it. And it's picked up by the Storm. Now back behind the net. Jarvis had it, and it comes out, and we'll get a delayed penalty here against Powassan. Not a delayed penalty, I should say, a penalty. And I believe Anthony Boys is going for holding. So now the Voodoos will have to kill off another penalty.
And not the start that we wanted. This has kind of been a broken record a little bit here. The Voodoos not having a good night. We talked about at the top of the program here that Iroquois Falls so far 3-0 against the Voodoos this season, after the Voodoos had a lot more success against them last year. So it's they've had their number this season, and if anything, the Voodoos have been inconsistent this year. A lot of 500 hockey, which has kind of kept them down in the standings.
Puck flipped down the ice. It's picked up by the Storm behind their own net. And going back down. Nearly lost though, but Trethewey gets it to the far side. Now Rive battling for it on the far side. Trethewey picks it up. Now Peaver twisting and turning. Back for Trethewey. Trethewey leaves it for his man. Now it's back to Peaver at the top of the point. Now back to Adlis. Adlis in for Trethewey. Trethewey looking for his options. Gets it back to the point. Sharp angle chance, throwing it across ice, chance there. And the Voodoos able to keep that one out of the net, and they set it down the ice and go for a quick change. A minute left here on the man advantage for the Storm.
And it does feel like the next goal is going to be such a crucial goal for either of these teams. For Iroquois Falls, it could put a dagger in the team and the Voodoos. And for Powassan, it'll be just what the doctor ordered, and I think will really help tilt the ice in their favor.
Shot on net is picked up by Seibel, and we'll get a stoppage here with 50 seconds left on the man advantage. Face-off coming to the far side of Seibel's net. Puck off the draw, Nemeth with it. Nemeth looking for some options. Can't quite find one now. A chance goes high and over Seibel's net. It's kept in by Willoughby.
Almost the same angle that Ryan Saginaw scored his goal for the Voodoos that ended up tying things up.
Now the puck down the ice. Russo with a chance shorthanded. Throwing it towards the net. It's knocked aside though. And flip back down the ice. The Storm back in. Seibel, another save. That's his 32nd. That's the 32nd shot, I should say. Almost his 10th save in general since coming in for relief.
And that's a lot of shots. When you consider the fact that he came in with only a handful of minutes really left in that second period, and he's, played maybe 10 minutes, and he's already taken 10 shots. 10 minutes, if that. And he's already taken 10 shots. Lots of shots against him, and some relatively high-quality shots as the power play is almost over for the Storm.
Less than 5 seconds as Kratz dances his way down the ice. Sullivan out to play it. Sends the puck back down the other way. And flipped in. Now we are back to 5-on-5. DeCallaway with the puck on the far side. Plays it around to the near side. Cowell couldn't come up with it. As now Doak nearly had Call knock the puck away from him. Now Mayo with some speed. Walking in, twisting and turning. Little spinorama. He throws the puck out front. Another chance. They score! Jamieson gets it past Seibel. As Jamieson gets his second of the game now. His 6th of the season.
Well, a couple of things from that play. First of all, Jordan Mayo, what a player as he dances through a couple of Voodoo players and really makes that happen. The second thing is Jamieson again, wide open in the slot area. The Voodoos again crashing in and around the puck, leaving men open. And you can't really, again, it's hard to fault Seibel there when you have a player get the puck with lots of space right between him and the hash marks. Not too sure what he's supposed to do there. It's another defensive mistake here from Powassan that's allowed 5 goals to go past their netminders.
If the Storm do indeed make the playoffs, it'll be their second straight season in the playoffs since missing for a couple of straight years at the Cochrane Crunch. They made it in their first year in Iroquois Falls. Carter Jamieson again, the beneficiary of an Adam McKillop own goal, and gets that one there. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I'll finish my thought after.
As the puck comes back to the point, Rive with a chance throws it on net. That one just whistled wide of the net. And now a Voodoo player taken down in front of the net. That's Bradley. He's taken down by Lions. And now there will be a penalty against the Storm.
It almost looked like it might have been Sullivan, the goaltender.
He definitely got a piece of it. He was part of the action for sure.
We'll see who officially goes. I think they're actually going to give it to Sullivan. As, of course, he can't go to the box. So they're going to have to get somebody to serve it for him.
Yeah, I think you're right because no one's gone to the box yet.
Either way, we talked, and so now finally
will go.
So we talked about, again, that last goal becoming so important. This power play is going to be crucial for the Voodoos to try to get one back. Not a lot of time left in this game despite 15 and a half minutes to go. It'll get eaten up quick.
Another chance on the far side. Big save by Sullivan. Second chance, third chance. And the Voodoos can't bury it. As they get 2 quick ones there. And then the third one floats over the net. Now we'll get a stoppage here. As Sullivan standing tall.
Well, that's what Sullivan's third or fourth highlighted real save of the evening. He had a couple back in the second period, and he's been absolutely fantastic when he's needed to. And again, when you look at this game so far, lots of pros that you can look at if you're Iroquois Falls. A lot of mistakes if you're Powassan that you like to put up. But again, not a lot of time left. As I said, 15 minutes will go by quick, but enough time still to try to put 2 by and tie things up and at least try to force at least an extra period of hockey.
The penalty is to Sullivan. So good eye there, Ben. As Russo knocked off the puck, the Storm quickly send it the other way. Seibel out to play it. Still over a minute on the man advantage. He gives it to Kratz. Kratz from his own zone. Leaves it for Cowell. Cowell gets it up quickly. Russo back for Kratz. Kratz couldn't get it in deep. Now it's going to be a break the other way. Going in. They have a chance. They score! The Storm shorthanded. Get the puck through the 5-hole of Austin Seibel. And what a goal there by Paradis. His third of the season. It's 6-3.
And a shorthanded one at that. Again, turnover. And Paradis just showing off the speed there. He goes 5-hole on Seibel. And might have put a dagger in this game here. Iroquois Falls have yet to put 6 past the Voodoos this season. They do so here as they show their scoring prowess, and all of a sudden a 3-goal lead looks like it might just be enough to secure the much-needed 2 points for the Storm.
Well, we'll still have to keep an eye on that Espanola game. Viscu flips it in. Nolan had to go and retrieve it, though, as the puck was knocked back down the ice. Dawson now has it. Dawson to the near side for Viscu with a shot, and that's off the end board's glass. Flip back in. Viscu had it roll by him. Misa tried to pick it up. Now the puck is floated out. Another chance here for the Storm. Short-handed Cho walking in. He takes the shot. He scores! A second short-handed goal. This time, it's going to the captain, Cho, his 13th of the season. It's 7-3.
Well, did we just see an instant replay, or that was literally the same goal that they just gave up? Another instance where the puck comes in between no man's land between the defenders. And if you're one of those defenders, you're the far defender there, you have to get back and keep that breakaway from happening. As again, we see the speed of the Storm come up big and a couple of big goals for them. Now all of a sudden it's a 7-3 game. But again, a little lax of indecisiveness and not taking the threat of the speed seriously enough, and it's burned them now and really has made this game out of touch. And just a quick update on that Espanola game. Sioux Michigan coming up with 2 goals back, so they're now 4-2. So that game's a little tighter than what it was before.
Was 4-0 last time we checked.
Still 7.5 minutes to go in that second period.
Cowell trying to power his way to the net, couldn't get a shot on net. Now Rive with it. It's back to the blue line and down the ice. Seibel has to come out to play it. Lotus of speed by the Storm. Up for McKillop. McKillop walking in. And we're back to 5-on-5. The Voodoos giving up 2, count them, 2 shorthanded goals
on the same
same power play. They started that power play down a goal, and what was a molehill has turned into a mountain for the Voodoos, now down 7-3.
Yeah, and your thought is they can get a goal here, they get back in the game.
Now Call walking in. Call backhanded chance. And Sullivan with the save. Seibel came in and looked unbeatable in that second period, and since then, it's been all Storm to start this one. And you talk about goaltending, well, they still had to figure out who's going to start in the playoffs against Hearst. Wilcox got the start here. Seibel played unbelievable last night, and you think with the polling, you're thinking maybe it goes to Seibel depending on how he plays, and he looked great in the second. Now I think it's another toss-up.
And it's tough, too, because how much do you blame him for those? Like, again, there are issues before it gets to the goaltender that you need to figure out.
Oh, that was just bad giveaways on the power play for sure.
And, again, great skill there from the Storm. They've earned this win, absolutely, or at least this lead, I should say. Still 12 minutes to go.
McGunthin with the puck. Behind his net, lost the handle on it. Now McGunthin picks it back up again. McGunthin has the puck hop over Rotundo's stick. Rotundo has the puck on the far side. Flipping it down the ice. It's in deep now. The Storm with possession. Bradley battling for it on the far side. Still battling for it on the far side wall. The Voodoos get it back down the ice. Now to Callaway's in a foot race with Mayo. The Callaway picks it up. Mayo hot on his heels, gets it quickly back down the ice. Viscu looking for Bradley out front. Viscu picks it back up. Still battling for it though. And now Bradley picks it back up. Backhand chance from the front of the net. That's Nolan. It's turned away by Sullivan. Viscu. Nolan. Looking to do the Michigan, he does! Jack Nolan! Michigan goal here in Powassan! Oh, you'll see that highlight. Wow! His 13th of the season. Jack Nolan, what a goal. It's 7-4.
Well, that was pretty good. Yeah, no, what a goal from Jack Nolan. As, again, it kind of feels a little deflated when you think about the fact, if you're a Voodoos fan, you're still down 3 goals, but 11.5 minutes to go, there's still hope. And don't let that, again, the score put away from what a goal from Jack Nolan. And I think, there's an instance where you could try that. Don't know if you could try that with a bit of a tighter lead, but wow, what a goal.
Call walking back in. On the far side, DuBrois with a shot. That one saved by Sullivan. As the Voodoos getting some momentum or perhaps some strength in their legs here.
And if they can turn that into one more goal in the next 2 minutes or so, this game all of a sudden becomes very interesting.
Wow. Never in my life have I seen a Michigan goal, though. That's wild. Anyways, hockey's back on.
Make sure you get that one over to Alex, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. DuBrois can't keep the zone. It's back to Boys. Boys playing it back to Smith. I think I nearly blew my voice out on that one. Peaver with the puck. It's back for Boys. Plays it back to Rive. 10:20 left. It's 7-4. It looked to be all Storm here, and then Jack Nolan. Absolutely goal of the night material.
Goal of the night, goal of the season.
Yeah, that too. Lions with the puck. Now going for a skate the other way. Trethewey throws it on net. That one just missed. Cowell on the half wall now gets to it. Tries to play it down. Brousseau Couldn't quite get a hold of it, though. Now the Voodoos send it right back up. Cowell has it hop away from him. Far side. Flipped back in. The Storm played out front. Smith with a good stick knocks that one away. Now Cowell hooked up. No call. There is a call, sorry. Delayed penalty coming to the Storm. Now Cowell with some speed. Cowell flips the puck in deep. It's going to rim around to the far side. Saginaw. And it's back to the point. Now Kratz with it. Kratz throws it on net. Sullivan makes the save. And now the Voodoos will go to the man advantage here. But remember, the last time the Voodoos had a power play, there was 2 shorthanded goals given up to the Storm.
Yeah, the Voodoos definitely have to do a better job of figuring out how to stop that and stop those breakaways. As you mentioned, 2 big shorthanded goals in the last power play opportunity. And again, it's kind of an interesting game right now as we've seen the ice tilt towards the Voodoos after Jack Nolan's goal of the year candidate, Michigan-style goal. But they've got to get a goal here if they want to get any chance of getting back in this.
Shot from the point, off the glass. And now the puck is down the ice, and that'll kill some time for Iroquois Falls. 9 minutes left here as Seibel plays the puck, leaves it for Cowell. Caden Cowell up for Russo. Russo played it to the center of the ice. Cowell couldn't get a hold of it, and now Kratz just got a piece of it as Cowell's run over in Storm territory. Kratz, his pass hits a stick of a Storm player and goes up in the air. Now Russo gets to it. Gets it over for Boyes for Dubroy. Dubroy turns, curls, takes the shot. That one's blocked by Iroquois Falls and is chipped back in. Now Russo gets to it. Russo for Misa. Back for Russo. Russo twisting and turning. He's looking through his options. Plays it to the far side to Boyes. Now it's back for Rive to Boyes. Boyes back out front for Russo. Another chance, and that's saved by Sullivan as the Voodoos trying to punch one through here with 8:11 left and under a minute on the man advantage.
Yeah, and one of the unfortunate things about this penalty for the Voodoos is their mid-period break now gets pushed back. So the chance of Peter being able to talk to his team and regroup a little bit is going to be pushed back later in this period. And if you're Iroquois Falls, again, you're just trying to get the job done, and it looks like, barring a huge comeback, that they're going to be able to do it.
Having to keep an eye still on that Espanola game. Nolan.
Now 4-3, by the way.
Rive plays it to the far side for Nolan. Now Dawson keeps it in, only momentarily though, as the Storm send it right back down the ice. Now Seibel in some trouble. He's able to hold on to the puck though, as he had Cho all over him. Now Rive with the puck. Rive gets it forward. It's flipped back by the Storm, and Seibel has to go and play it again in the corner. Seibel leaves it for Nolan. Nolan, the most recent goal scorer. And in case you didn't know by the tone of my voice, it was a Michigan goal. Now Smith with it.
We're going to have to change that to the Powassan goal.
I'm okay with it as an Ohio State fan. Going through the neutral zone. It's picked off by Peaver. And Peaver going the other way as we're back to 5-on-5. Peaver with a shot. And that's stopped by Seibel. With 7 minutes left on the clock, that'll bring us to our mid-period break. You heard Ben and I drone on long enough. Now hear Matt Sukram for about 15 seconds.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we welcome you back into the Powassan Sportsplex. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by...
My name's Ben.
Or sorry, Ben Sargent.
It's okay. It's fine.
I'm half asleep right now.
It's okay. You know.
I haven't known you my entire life.
Yeah, it's okay. It's 3 letters.
Is it? Well, technically Benjamin.
Yeah, but that's fine. 3 syllables.
Ben.
Yeah,
Chapman.
There you go.
Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Benjamin Sargent here at the Powassan Sportsplex.
You know who's not pleased right now is Espanola fans, as again, they're finding themselves slipping a 4-0 lead. Now it's 4-3 with 2:50 to go against the Sioux Michigan Eagles. And of course, if you're an Iroquois Falls fan, that is a big game, because if the Paper Kings end up losing their lead, and they end up losing that game, and Iroquois Falls holds on to this. It'll be officially back into the playoffs. Talk about a paper-thin lead.
From a Voodoo's perspective, you kind of want Sunday's game to mean something, other than a tune-up for the playoffs.
Did I just slip that pun right by you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. As we're going to get a penalty here against Powassan. You'll have to reiterate that one for me again.
It's a paper-thin lead.
Oh, that's good, too.
It's not funny if you have to...
No, I know. But I was watching the play. You know.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
It's our job.
Well, Heath Bradley's going to the box for 2 minutes or less, so I'm sorry. Happy birthday, Mike Brown.
And one of the things that's frustrating, of course, you have to talk about Jack Nolan and his goal that he had. It really sparked the life into the team, sparked the life, and there was definitely different murmurs around the Sportsplex here for people who were watching in attendance after that goal. And it felt like there might have been something there, right? They go on the power play. You get one more. You've got about 7-8 minutes left. 2 goals. It's not crazy to think that way. But then they don't get there. And
Roy looking for a shorthanded marker. Threw that one high and wide.
And they take a bad penalty.
Now it's hit there by Kratz. Now another chance. That one goes wide by the Storm. Jarvis has the puck to Peaver. Peaver has the puck knocked away from him. Now it's back to Adlis. Adlis flips it over for Peaver. Peaver out front. Another chance. Solid save by Seibel there as he came across with the butterfly save with 1:23 left on the man advantage.
And that's how you move the puck on the power play. We see the near boards, the point to the far circle, back to the top high slot. A lot of open ice there in the top part of the offensive zone, and Iroquois Falls almost takes advantage of it. Nice save by Austin Seibel, who's looking to get back into the good graces of these fans after a couple of shorthanded goals.
Now Russo in, takes a chance. Another save there by Sullivan. Cowell with another chance. He throws that one high and wide. And now it's Jarvis the other way. Jarvis comes in slowly, gets it over to Adlis. Adlis takes the shot, saved by Seibel. With 1 minute left on the man advantage, I just want to give a shout out Richard Whitty, the play-by-play announcer for the Iroquois Falls Storm, is listening in. He says, nice goal by Nolan, but that one by Timmins Clark Skaden in Sioux, Michigan last week was pretty sweet. It is a compelling argument. I'm not going to disagree that was a nice goal. Maybe it's because I saw it in person, but that Nolan goal, man.
The only downside to the Nolan goal, I think, was just the scoreline and the overall mood of the game for the Voodoos.
That's fair.
I would say if it was a tighter game, if it was a game-tying goal, or if it was a go-ahead goal, I think you have to put the situation into perspective a little bit.
I can agree with that. But it's still really fun to watch that in person.
Well, McGunthin not getting away with that one. I think unless they're not going to call, it looked like it might have been a...
No, I think the puck might have hit the meshing and went out of play.
Well, he was looking around at the ref as he kind of brought his man down.
He looked guilty for sure. He looked guilty. 35 seconds left on the man advantage. 5:11 left in the third. 7-4 here for the Iroquois Falls Storm. Puck is won back to Nemeth. Now it's on the near side. Show. Still battling for it on the far side. It comes to Rive. Rive. Back for Viscu. Viscu down the ice. Looking for some speed. Daniel Viscu stops and turns. Flips it back to McGunthin. McGunthin plays it right back down for Smith. 10 seconds left on the man advantage. This should kill what's left of it. And Smith just decides to send that one all the way down to Iroquois Falls zone. And we are back to 5-on-5 now as Heath Bradley hops over the boards.
What will be interesting to see is if they decide to try to pull Seibel and get an extra attacker on at some point.
Another shot. Save again by Seibel. McGunthin gets to it. I think he thought they were still on the penalty. And that'll go for icing against the Voodoos here with 4:17 left in this third period.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna look at this game and summarize it, you see a tale of two different kinds of teams at different points of their season. For the Voodoos, everything's wrapped up. I don't think Peter will be happy with how they played.
Off the draw, quick shot by the Storm. Another save made by Seibel.
Considering who they're going up against in Hearst, a team they know very, very, very well, especially in the playoff in a playoff situation. But if you're Iroquois Falls, you got to be very happy with the way you played. You put 7 by, a very good goaltending tandem, a very solid defensive team, and they've just played really well. They played with the urgency they've needed to make the playoffs.
Another chance. Jarvis is going to score that one to make it 8-4 on the power play here. As Jack Jarvis gets his 23rd of the season, that gives him the team lead for Iroquois Falls.
Yeah, that point, Jarvis does a good job. He steals the puck in the slot right off the face-off and just puts it over the pad of, again, Seibel kind of left to dry out there. But again, when you look at a lot of these goals that have gone in, that you could talk about the defense of the Voodoos, it's a lot of the hard work from Iroquois Falls that's doing that. Jarvis does a great job of poking that puck, putting himself in the right situation. They're not just, these situations aren't just falling into their lap. They're doing a good job of creating them in the first place. And again, when you talk about a team that seems like they're hungrier for this victory, you can definitely tell which team that is.
Off in their own zone now to Callaway. Plays it down for Dawson. Dawson tried to kick the puck away. And again, all eyes will have to turn to the Espanola game here shortly, as Iroquois Falls has done their part.
Well, Espanola in the tail ends of that second period have gone up 5-3 after 40 minutes. So will be a very enticing one. If you're watching on Flow Hockey, you'll definitely want to tune into that one as soon as this is over.
That's it was 4-0 Espanola at one point, and then it became 4-3. So to get some more breathing room, that's huge for Espanola. Kratz takes a shot. That one's blocked. Now Nolan on the far side can't quite get a hold of it. Kratz keeps it in, and Dawson throws a hit. That'll be a penalty, though, as Dawson's going to go to the box now. And the Voodoos will have to kill another penalty, as that's not going to be what Peter wants to see from one of his leaders here, as Dawson's actually going to be shown the gate.
Well, I think they made the motion for head contact there. And the absolute last thing you want to do is do anything that could, potentially make you miss any games, especially at this point in the season. So maybe an ill-advised hit there, but either way.
Probably 2-10 there for Dawson. So Iroquois Falls has scored a couple of power play goals here, including the most recent power play. The Voodoos flip it down the ice. Now Lions tried to flip the puck in. Russo got to it, tried to flip it right back in. Under 3 minutes now. Russo giving chase. And now Russo knocked down his puck, the stick stuck in him. As now Lyons gains the zone. Lyons. Sharp angle, walks in. Seibel makes the save. And the puck is cleared down the ice, but it's out of play.
Well, 2:35 left. Again, Iroquois Falls, both teams at this point just looking for the clock to run down. And I think one of the telling things in this game is the shot total as well. 42-22. We've seen a barrage of shots against both, and almost the same number of shots between each netminder at this point. Both Wilcox and Seibel, though Seibel getting the short end of the stick, giving up 5 goals after Wilcox was pulled after the 4th goal.
Adley's with the puck on his stick, sends it around to Jarvis. Jarvis tries to get it out. Bradley picked it up, though. Bradley tries to flip it in deep. Now he's just going to try and power his way past Jarvis. Couldn't quite get there. Now Peaver has it. Up for Jarvis. Jarvis for Mayo. Mayo takes the shot. Seibel makes the save. 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Bradley's out of gas, but he still gets there. Battling for it now. Trying to get a hold of it. It's picked up by Nolan. Nolan in the Storm zone, lost it to Jarvis. Jarvis flipping it around on the far side. Kratz having to give chase. 20 seconds, but that'll go for icing against the Storm. So now the Voodoos will have an offensive zone draw with 23 seconds left on the man advantage for Iroquois Falls.
Well, wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall of the Voodoos dressing room after this one, as I think the Sunday game is going to be very interesting for you guys. I think Ben Long has the call with you.
No, it's Matt.
Oh, it's Matt. It's Ben. Matt and Ben, yeah.
I mean, I will be here. Somebody's got to keep the shot total.
It's hard to multitask.
It is.
But either way, it would I think that Sunday game is going to be very telling to see where this Voodoo team is going to be going into that Hearst game. And Iroquois Falls really hoping that Michigan can come back with a big win, against the Paper Kings.
We're back to 5-on-5. Call with it. Over for Nolan. Nolan tried to walk in. Lost the handle on it, though, but he gets it back to the blue line. Now a hard hit thrown by the Voodoos. Now Willoughby walking in. Willoughby to the far side. Atlas with his second of the game. Make it 9-4 for the Storm, as John Adleys is going to get his 6th of the season.
Well, that pretty much sums up, I think, this game here. It was very tight game, 4 goals now here in this third period. And you just got to kind of feel bad for the goalies at this point, as it really you feel the dejection from the Voodoos. And again, Iroquois Falls are buzzing as they go into their final game of the season, doing exactly what they need to do. They came into this game winning 3 of 5, 3 games in their last 5, and they come away with another victory. So now it's 4 wins in the last 5, and talk about getting things done when you need to get them done.
Also of note from Richard Whitty, Jarvis led the Comoco Kings from the Gouge in scoring last year. Has another chance cross ice. Yeah, he's really been the Storm's most improved skater, making the move from Junior B to Junior A this season is from Richard Whitty. And it's hard to argue with that. His goal earlier this period was a nice one. Nisa with 20 seconds left. Puck comes to the blue line and out. And now we're going to see a penalty against the Storm here, but with 15.2 seconds left, it's just a formality at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Misa going off to the box for tripping.
Oh, so it's the Voodoo, sorry.
Or maybe it's not Misa. Misa's just going to the bench. It looks like it'll be Rive.
Well, that should wrap up this one here. 15.2 seconds left on the clock. Shots on goal, 44-22 in favor of Iroquois Falls. They've done all they can to try and punch their ticket to the dance with a 9-4 victory here. Espanola still up in that game in the second intermission as the puck is flipped down the ice. As the Storm will be back in action against the Rapids tomorrow. And if Espanola holds on to win in this one tonight, the Storm can still clinch with a win tomorrow against the Rapids. So it could be very interesting. It's going to come down to game number 52 for the Storm, who go a perfect 4-0 against the Voodoos this season. And the Voodoos will host Espanola for their 52nd game of the season on Sunday here at the Powassan Sportsplex after they lose 9-4 on home ice. Ben, before we go?
Well, of course, Jack Nolan's great Michigan-style goal is overshadowed by a pretty dull performance here from the home side, as, again, not a lot to play for, as they've already punched their ticket with the Hearst Lumberjacks. However, I'm pretty sure that's not what the coaching staff wants to see going into that. A lot of question marks right now. Hard to blame a 9-goal performance on the goalies, though. Not too much they could have done when their team was putting them in positions to not succeed. But overall, if that's the Powassan team that comes out against Hearst, it's going to be a very short series. Iroquois Falls, however, have looked very strong, and they're going to need as much confidence as they need if they are indeed getting the 8th seed to go up against Greater Sudbury in the playoffs. So great job from the Storm, and if the Voodoos, a lot of question marks going into the playoffs.
The Voodoos had a tight one last night against the Sudbury Cubs, losing 3-2 to the top team in the league. Here tonight, they lose 9-4 to the team still looking for a playoff spot in Iroquois Falls. Again, Iroquois Falls is back in action tomorrow night in French River, and Espanola is here on Sunday. So it's going to be an interesting one there. Indeed, we'll give you one last quick score update if you're still with us. Between those two teams, it's still in the second intermission as we look to see what's going to go on here. But again, if Iroquois Falls wins tomorrow, even if Espanola wins tonight, that could put the final nail in the chances there for the Espanola Paper Kings. And as you said earlier, the margin of error is paper thin, Ben.
It is. It is very paper thin. And good for the Storm to storm on back and get themselves a playoff spot.
Oh, Okay, anyways, on that note, I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Ben Sargent. Huge thank you to Mike Brown, our camera operator, and Harrison Clements, who on spot duty came in and got some great footage from ice level. That'll do it for this one. Game 52 is on tap on Sunday at 7. We'll have the call from you, or for you, from the Powassan Sportsplex. And as always, keep your eye right here on the front line.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
The Goalie Resiliency Podcast, hosted by Chris Dawson and Dr. Rob Graham. With player interviews new and old, goalie insights, and everything you need to know about being a netminder, this is the podcast to check out. You can subscribe at youtube.com/goalie resiliency or instagram.com/goalie_resiliency.